What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. Of course, being a branch off of the hashtag Real Double Dose channel, or RDDC as you may know it
Amen.
as.
Preach it. Preach it.
Welcome to this platform, this syndication, where we will be looking for and seeking, as you can very much tell from the title, the truth. This is the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance. Of course, we are co-hosting this one. We're gonna always continue to try to keep these intertwined between Lex and I. So we got the beautiful Lexus T right here.
Hello, 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 Clarice.
And there she is. There she is. Nobody does the intros better than she does, but I'm trying. I'm coming.
Mm,
Coming for that title.
you're not too bad. While I'm sipping on my lemonade, you're not too bad. Kudos, kudos.
But welcome. And today's gonna be a little bit of a different episode wherever it is that you're listening to this on. Please be sure to ensure that you can hear the message clearly, whether it be TuneIn, Spreaker, Spotify, SoundCloud,
Hey, good
iTunes,
job.
Giovanni, Chromecast, Podchaser, Pod.
Chromecast, I love it.
Am I getting it? Am I doing it?
Hey, it's adorable, so I don't want to correct it. It's Google Cast, but Google is Chrome, so
Google
you're
Cast,
still
yeah.
correct.
Huh? Mm.
Yeah. Huh?
Half right, half right. I'd say 75%. Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I'm
like
trying. I'm coming for that
75%.
title. But
That's
anyways,
cute.
welcome. As you may have noticed from the previous episodes, or if you're new, we go into a lot of scriptural type of conversation, real conversations. We don't limit it to just the Bible. Of course, that is going to be the foundation of truth, being that it is the Word of God. But we like
Hmm.
to explore a little bit about it because, as you can see, very much so, so many people are confined to what is so right in front of us, and they create these barriers and end up trying to put God in a box. I was gonna say box in a God, but like Jack in a
Uh,
Box.
yeah.
But try to put God in a box, and it creates these confines to where it allows you to not become the full nature of what we were created to be, and have a lot of doubt at the same time. You don't allow yourself to have the faith that we're intended to have. And we see
Hmm.
that, right, in the reference to the way
Truth
Christ
Seekers
came.
Mastermind Alliance. I mean,
Hmm.
if anyone's wondering, like, what truth? Well, we're seeking the truth as a mastermind alliance with all of us together as a whole. You
That's
who
right.
are out there in cities and countries within the country, we appreciate you. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
You're
But
funny, funny.
we do. We really do.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
do.
we love that people are listening into us from some places that I'm finding out about. Like they're new places that I've never heard of, and I'm like, interesting. So it's
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
well, you know what? The thing is like, ironically, I would say that to myself, like, oh my gosh, it's something I never heard about. But then I'm like, well, yeah, like there's thousands upon thousands of little cities and little towns within, and it's like we almost, our world is the city or the state we're in, and I can barely go outside of the Minnesota realm for that. Like it's just like the
And
little things.
that's actually a perfect transition too, because we may be familiar with some of the culture attached to it, but in the same way that we are the True Seekers Mastermind Alliance, we have to continue to expand and look more for what is the culture of God. So we may know the culture of these little countries or provinces, whatever it may be, yet we don't understand it to its fullest. And it's the same way, right? Being confined to only a book that was put together and brought together, well, a collection of books, right? So because it's what, 66 books in the canonical Bible.
Mm,
I think it's
yeah, I
66.
think so. Yeah.
And then we got the Ethiopian Bible that has, I want to say, 84 books. So obviously there's a lot of knowledge out here to be sought, should I say. Because a lot of the knowledge, it's not more so, and that's the beauty of the Bible too, as you very much agree. It's not just truth, but it's like the underlying foundation of truth in the sense of you can't even interpret it all the way without having the discernment and power of the Holy Spirit, because that's exactly how all these religions were formed and created, to try to lead people to get a certain understanding and ultimately God in a box. So yeah, we need that spirit. That's why I love the outro that Lex has
Well,
on the
the
RDDC.
Catholic Church is supposed to be the branch of every religion that came out, which I don't doubt, but all the churches, all the religion structures have
Interesting.
openly stated, with Carlos Munoz was doing that too, and they showed all the documents, which I have, and I'll probably post it on the blog for everyone. I mean, that's a reverence what religion is what, but the Seventh-day Ministry is based on Bible principles, not the people, not the culture of what they try to carry between the quote they call cult. It's the
Hmm.
Bible principles of what it says, clean food, so forth, and then man puts his own in there. But yeah,
Oh
Muslim,
yeah.
or they say Islam, all that was stemmed off from the Catholic Church, and then all of them, every one of them, I know from all at least the religious ones we know, outside of certain countries, they have admitted that the Sabbath day is Saturday and the Sunday.
Oh,
But at
absolutely.
the same time, it's like it's to be homage every moment. And I told people before, if they feel like the mark of the beast is going to say you can't serve God on the Sabbath, it's going to be Sunday for everybody, then that means your Sunday footballs are going to. You're not going to be able to go to your little Sunday football games either, and that's like the national praise. People have more time in the Sunday football than anything. But anyway, not to get off track, I just
Or another
want to put
country's
that on there.
football.
Yeah, yeah,
Football, soccer.
football. Yeah,
Well, right. Well, we Americans know as soccer.
I would
No,
say
yeah, that's true though, and
some
and even
American.
them, I mean, even that's why it's a really good entry point. Religion, the right kind. The one that's actually trying to pursue God as a creator to be worshipped, and not trying to create their own, divisions of trying to interpret it for their own gainful ways. Whether that be the Catholic Church, huge gang. That's pretty much the biggest gang in the world. Um,
Hmm.
but someone that's actually doing it right. But I mean, that's why it's important. It's really good to find that kind of camaraderie, because actually I've even communicated with a couple people within the Catholic Church, like their fathers, their priests, and they go against a lot of what the Catholic Church preaches in itself, even whenever it comes to the statues. That they worship, or even, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but in the Catholic Church, they actually go and have the father bring someone. It's called a confession, and they have the father bring someone into like a church pew, and you go and you confess your sins to him, and he tells you, okay, we'll do this much Hail Marys or this much Our Fathers,
Hmm.
and you're cleansed. And yeah,
They had a lot of murders happen back there about a decade ago. A man paid $1 million to the Catholic Church because he asked him, Father, which we know already what it is, what should I do? My wife
mhm.
is basically, I think she's cheating on me, or I don't want to be with her anymore. How could I not go to hell? Because I don't know how I would get rid of her. Because if I get rid of her, she's going to take my money and do it. So he said, do such and such, like 250 Hail Marys, do this and that, and give $1 million. And guess what happened? That next day, the man went and shot his wife in the head. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, did he take any responsibility? No. But I don't want everyone to think, and your conversation is open just like mine will be. Ours as a whole. Pero, I want to say pero so bad, but I don't want everyone listening to this to think this is the topic of conversation. But TSMA is about everything being unveiled, even if it's a topic, a subject of topic, or a quick draw that we have. It's not about
Right.
saying, "Oh, well, I'm a Catholic," and it's not about religion, and so RDDC doesn't conflict with that. And anything other platform that you hear on our Syndicate doesn't conflict with it, but it is the truth of what we know that stands out there. Just like there's about 95 books, they say, nearly 100 books still missing from the 66 books of the Bible, monk temples and so forth. But if you are, and a lot of people I've engaged with that went to some of the Seven-day ministries and different one out there, and not, like I said, not shackles of anything. They have spoken because they've been grew up even now in the early 60s, for almost 40 years in the Catholic Church, and they've converted over. And it's just the point of being able to directly get to the Bible. So that's what we're saying. Most people will say when they convert over from, I'll just say the C foundation, right? We'll just put it that way. So we'll just get that off the table. The C foundation, the CAF, okay, that's a low key abbreviation. They have said that they wouldn't even look at the Bible. They would go to their quote priest or father for that, seeing him in the form of Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. So it's not to say that we're not representations of being gods and goddesses here under the understandings of God and Christ alone as their children, the children, and as also the sons and daughters. But it's knowing our place and where we stand in the creational line and the virtue and the trinity of everything. We are the other form. Now, we have taken on the shell, the information, the rebirth. I'm gonna say algo así, but we was getting there again. We're gonna have a Spanish one. Don't worry, I've been having those requests for a minute, but we're gonna be having not the super best from my transitioning of years because my family had to go different places, but we're getting there. But it's still the point where we're just having that notion, go on with it and being able to feed yourself with what you need to know, where you stand in retrospect of that. So I just want to put that quote disclaimer out there for everyone who may be feeling a certain type of way. It's not about religious
Hmm.
shackles. It's about the truth and
Oh
seeking
yeah.
the truth. You know what I mean? So,
And that's something that I kind of had to come about figuring out myself too. When you were talking about we distance ourselves to a point, right? We almost use religion as a mediator also to communicate with God, to get a relationship with God. Some people do it for their own selfish intentions because it's like, okay, well, if I give, an hour once a week to God, I'm pretty much set and I'm safe, in case. And a lot of people do that too. They're like, in case there is an afterlife, in case there is a hell, this is kind of my security deposit, my
secure. I like
401k,
that security deposit.
my
Yeah.
401k for it, right?
Mhm.
Um, and ultimately, there's other people too where they just don't believe ourselves worthy enough, right? We don't see ourselves worthy enough. And that's something that I had to kind of see myself to um in the relation, because there was this one, I want to say it was a debate. It was kind of like a debate between this one really good doctor. I think he's a scientist. His name is Dr. Frank Turk, and this other guy, you might have heard his name, Christopher Hitchens. And this
Mm.
Christopher Hitchens was an atheist, and they were basically debating on the existence of God. Now, in that debate, Christopher Hitchens did nothing but ask questions. Like, he was not trying to prove that atheism was the way to go, or not trying to prove that God wasn't real. He was more so trying to incite doubt. And he was leaving it up to Dr. Frank Turk to pretty much prove that God was real. So already that was a huge red flag,
Mhm.
because it's like, well, you got to convince me. I don't got to convince you. So that's not even what a debate is, first of all. But second, he kept referring to Christ as Big Brother. And whenever I watched that, it was like whenever I was first getting on the journey of being born again and going hard for God. And every time I heard him, basically call God Big Brother, like there's a big brother in the sky, whatever he would say, it kind of irked me a little bit,
Mhm.
because I saw it as really disrespectful. I'm like, well, that's, it's not Big Brother, it's Father of all, Creator of all. And then I came to the understanding. I'm like, you know what? Looking back at it with more wisdom, right? I was like, well, it's actually not too bad that he was looking at it as Big Brother, because that's what Christ came as. He came as our brother, as the Son of God, and we are into the adopted family, right? Like the prodigal son, we are adopted into the family. So now we essentially become brothers and sisters of Christ, not just in Christ, but of Christ as well. So it's a huge point of humility of God coming down as man form, not only to become man, but also to come down to our level on a hierarchy standpoint. So we can be and look at ourselves as a portion of God. So that, it was a huge like it was a boom, mind blow revelation whenever I had that. But it was directly in correlation to what you were saying whenever it was about how we really don't see ourselves like that. We don't see ourselves as a piece of God, and that's something we definitely got to start doing more. But
Mm.
I'm sorry, I took a little while to go down that that little train of thought.
Well,
Um,
I think honestly we should reroute this. I mean, we did have a conversation. Everyone, we had a different kind of fruit that we're going to go into, so maybe that'll be a different segment. And my bottle is cracking right now because it was so slushy, full of my little crystal, my Weiler's sugar-free lemonade. It was so good. I'm sorry. Oh, I mean, I was really enjoying that, like a little slushy. It was amazing.
sounds good.
It was really refreshing on my palate. Ah, I love spritzers that are refreshing.
Mm.
Um, well, spritzers. But I think we should transition this heck into like, I mean, I know we had the one we just spoke about before we went on, but I think this right here is to also say where we were going to go with one conversation. Now, everybody, this might go on to another one or not, but it's really good to kind of get this. And I want to say, maybe this will be on the RDC little snippet. Maybe it'll be on a TikTok as well. Maybe you had
Yeah.
touch base on it. But I'm sorry, it's just so much noise in the background. It's getting on my nerves so much. I'm sorry. We have a
Mhm.
mindset of housekeepers who are allowed. Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. Like family is just well,
Insane. Crazy.
relatives who come to say hi to you unexpectedly are amazing in other corridors. So back on, it was just
Silly.
boom, boom,
Silly.
boom. But I was wondering, let's go for the 10%. The tithe. I
Okay.
think, and because since we're on this conversation so more on a revelational base, let's just call it the tithe, the understanding of our tithe, right? The God tithe, the understanding of ourselves too. So this everyone goes into well, basically, we just have our little a quick little bullet point, so we don't really get into the depth of it. Now, Heckler and I will find ourselves in conversations that go so deep. We're like, "Oh, we should have had this on," and it's like we get the most deep,
Mhm.
and we don't even know we're in until like 15 minutes later. We're like, "Oh man, we should have." We got to get that on. But we'll get it once I'm transitioning here in the next several weeks, God willing, where I'll be able to get a little bit closer. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that, when we get to know ourselves, when we understand ourselves, when we feel like we're nothing, when we've been told that we're sinners and disgusting, and it's not to say that we weren't, but if we believe and we have definitely stood behind the cross of Christ Jesus, understood the Yeshua, Yahweh, the beautiful names that come to be Adonai, all that, the Omega, the Alpha, like we are the understanding the sentiments of God, because those who don't accept God are not. No, they are the filth. They are the ones that are still saturated with it. Does God want to see them redeemed? Does God want to see them clean and love? Absolutely. But you're not going to go over there and get a great relationship when you're constantly cheating on your spouse and running up the bills and treating them like crap and walking, doing whatever you want, showing up whatever time you want. If you know that can't happen on a human form, then what makes you think it can happen on a God form? A lot of people say, well, I wasn't asked to be here and all this other stuff and this and that. But think of it this way, it's like a puzzle piece. Now, I'm having some struggles before where I was speaking to our one and only. And I don't know, I felt like I was like, what is this? Especially being an author and a writer, it's two different categories there. Creating my own beings and seeing them, not from the blood and the veins and the beautiful things that we couldn't even fathom to wrap our minds around, let alone scientists, of how God put structurally these bodies together so perfectly sound, but only God can do that.
Mhm.
But I created these beings from the thought form, and seeing them live and thrive, even seeing one of them hurt or seeing one of them rejected, knowing that I give them free will because I know how to auto write. And that'll be in another series you can be a part of. Let them be born to themselves. It's still the point where I don't want to see them do harm. Even the most evil, heinous one in the book itself, I still love him. I love him, even though he's so evil and mean. I love him. And I love the sweetest character in there. And it's all parts of us in so many ways. And it doesn't mean that we want to see those things happen, but it happens to be the balance of how we know good from evil. Now, God didn't know what was going to happen from the beginning, but at the same time, free will, which I can understand at least a sentiment of, it comes to that. You know, we would say, oh, this is a forced love if it wasn't free will. So when we have free will, it's a, oh, well, yeah. But as we were saying, there's so many series we have. I can't really unveil so many things, so I have to be careful. One of the stuff, but Adam and Eve, right? The beginning, that it
Hmm.
was given to be. They didn't understand, like we were speaking about earlier with Haggai. It's just they didn't understand the value of God. They didn't understand it. They didn't get it. It's like a child wouldn't know the value of us. They just be there, right? They just grew up. They didn't. They wouldn't understand that the value of us until something was to depart them from that. And most time, often than not, our children or the ones we raise as children can kind of dismiss that with us until they get into a situation or until something has to get some discernment or understanding, or even from someone who's not quote blood related. It's just the point where they didn't know that. But we're going to jump back to here. So let's bring that back around. What is the tithe that we're giving though? Like the tithe, I know people say the tithe and offering. A lot of people say that because they want to be stingy. You out there, right? Oh, I only got $50. What you mean I gotta give 10% away? Like, and they always base it on the dollar bills, y'all. You know what I mean? Like it's always that. And I'm not saying that you can't contribute. If you see someone downtown and you have $50 and you really see that they're struggling, it doesn't matter if you see $15 accumulated in their cup. The point is what are you pouring into the cup? Right? The whole thing is also is the 10% comes to meditation, contemplation, really prayer and an intimacy revival. Not God, please help me with my car. God, please help me with my health. God, please help me with this. God, I got to-do list, to-do list, to-do list. If we truly believe and we understand that the creator of all things is so much more abundant than us, if you had a child or you have someone, niece, nephew, whatever it may be, and you had them in this world, a baby just cries because they know someone's going to hear my voice and feed me. Someone's going to smell my poop and change me. That's their responsibility. A child doesn't care if they wake you up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. To them, hey, I need attention. Okay. Oh man, go to sleep. I need rest. Oh my gosh, my baby's keeping me up. Most new time parents say that a lot, whether they're biological or not. What do? They get to a point to understand all that about parenthood. Parenthood itself will get you to a certain understanding of what love can mean. So when you have that factor, they just know what is. This is what I'm trying to relate everyone to this. So heck, if you feel me, you understand. But they get to a
Oh
point
yeah.
of what is. Yeah, like you know, right? When you go to a restaurant, you sit down, a little minute. You know that when you open, they have the doors open, you're gonna sit down and a waiter is supposed to come serve you. You know you shouldn't have to ask to have your water refilled constantly or anything else. There's certain things that you expect going into a restaurant. There's certain things you expect going on a date. I mean, they might not be the expectation you get, but there's expectation. And there's nothing wrong with certain levels of expectation because it's good to expect those things, like Christ. Now, we're just saying this too. Now, this is going to be the Christ factor as well. And we're going to bring this up another time. But in the book of Matthew, hey, heck, if you got a chance, can you see if you can find that about Jesus and the fig tree? I don't know if it was
Yeah.
Matthew chapter 28 or what, chapter 11. It's bouncing in my head, 26, 28. But I want Heck to be able to read this in a minute. But when Christ was going into it and he was walking, he got hungry. I can't say it word for word, so don't paraphrase me, whatever. But he had went to the fig tree, and the fig had no fruit, right? No leaves, whatever it might be. Um, and at the same time, we look at that and say, well, it wasn't. The Bible says it wasn't in season. Yeah, but that's the thing. Christ expected it to have that fruit, no matter if it was in season or not, because Christ was here to unlock the quote Da Vinci and the Matrix code that he knew was already being planted back then, that was going to be planted today, that has our quote pineal understanding so ignorated. I just throw that name right now, to where we literally feel like we just are a bunch of nothing, just thrown here on the earth, know nothing. So I know you're wondering, how does this correlate? It correlates to what we expect and what we know. Not to be whiners and say, I expect this right now, Lord. I expect no, but to understand the relationship we have, the 10% of that, if we spend time, we're jumping back here, right? To the 10% to the olive tree. Now we're going to combine these more. If you can't catch it up, you'll catch. But the 10% of saying, hey, even this minute, we should be able to have a 20. And I know life happens. I get it. Trust me. can't even open my Bible the way I want to sometimes. Even growing up, remembering chapters of the Bible and quoting them in front of the whole churches and different things, and learning my spirituality confines later of understanding release, it still got to a point where I find it hard or exhausting to read, even though I desperately want to. I'm so tired, my eyes and my body. I'm like, oh, I can't read my chapters. It's so disappointing. So we should be able to do that. If we can spend time reading social media posts, if we can spend time looking at our phones, checking this, going here, picking up this, we make those top priority. But the thing is not to sit there and say, we have to give this time, like Heck was saying in the beginning. Oh, well, let me just slather it on here. Here you go. Like, let me just make sure I pray. Let me just get my to-do list done. This is also connecting with who you are. You connect with who you are from understanding who God is. And we will never know the fullness of that. But that 10% will give us the merger we need because we realize we're made of the essence. You're not speaking in the third person here. The Bible speaks as a you person. Put your names to the people in the book as you read. It's speaking to you now. Why is it still a living word? Because it's still here. No matter what they take from it, you still understand what that is. You get it. Thou shalt not kill. Yeah. If you're defending yourself, you kill somebody. It's a difference if you're killing just out of heinous hurt. It's just different areas. Thou shalt not steal. Same thing. If you plan on borrowing a loaf of bread, right? In your mind, it could be borrowing, somebody else could be stealing. People are going to take it how they want, is what I'm saying to you. So that 10% we should give, that understanding that tithe is beyond just a collection plate once a week. It's beyond the once a year. It's beyond the tax donation. It's just flagged off as some facade. That is a great way to look at, man, 10% of everything that I have. That's my breath of life in 24 hours a day. What, 2 hours? I think 10% might be. I'm not sure. I'm not good. Heck's good with math.
Right.
Yeah. But can you read that passage from the Bible, Heck, if you get a chance? I'm sorry about
Yeah, I got it right here. But I wanted to say really quick, yeah, absolutely, and it just goes to show more to how genuine God wants it to be. Because if you notice, there's a lot of whenever it talks about the first fruits, I believe it might be in Leviticus or somewhere around that area, right? Might be Deuteronomy. I can't remember, but it starts talking about the first fruits, whether it be what you sow, I mean what you reap from your sow, your harvest, your money, whatever it may be. And it's a lot of these materialistic things that really have nothing to do with infinite. And it goes to show he's only asking for these things to more so give. So if we do that and be a joyful giver as it calls us to be, we're going to want to do it more and more and more, and to the point where we just got so much that we can literally give away the world if we so choose to, because of the heart that God is instilling in us. And ultimately, it's leading us also to want to spend that time with God, because that's one of the things he doesn't even require. It's not even one of the things that he tells us to do. Hey, spend 10% of your day with me. Give me this much time of how much time you're awake. Go to church 1 hour a week. He never says that, okay? That's that conviction coming for you. But he never says, hey,
it.
I want this time for me. And it comes with that genuine character. He's not going to force love. Love is something we have to give freely, and yet love is also the universal language that we understand as good.
Even food, Like, I mean, people say the universal language is food. Absolutely. Why?
Mhm.
Because the right kind of food or whatever food, even the food that vibrates with you, it
Water.
speaks to you. Yeah. Like it gets to, you need it. It makes you feel good when you have a good meal, when you feel your toes squiggle up a little bit, like the real food is there. But also, too, piggybacking on what you just said, the same thing with movies, right? Or the other ones, they have them in all cultures. It's like the rich guy or the rich lady. They come as a humble peasant. They don't come as a prince or a princess or a king. They want to see who really loves them, right? Without wanting their riches. Same thing.
Hmm.
So people, oh, well, God did it.
Unconditional.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a perfect bridge to go to the blackness of God. I just want to put that out there. It's a perfect bridge to go there to a certain level, to a certain level. But yeah, I
Hmm.
mean that's what it is. The fig tree. Can you read that? Did you read that already? I
Well,
don't
it's
think so.
Mark. Well, I pulled it up on Mark actually, not
Oh,
on
Mark.
Matthew.
I don't know why I
No,
could have.
well, it's also on Matthew, but I have the
Oh,
Mark
okay,
one.
because I'm like, whoa, okay. What's
This is
wrong?
Mark 11, verse 12 through
Yeah, some are
25.
repeated in there.
Jesus Christ curses a fig tree and clears the temple courts. Is verse 12. The next day, as they were leaving Bethany, Jesus was hungry. Seeing in the distance a fig tree and leaf, he went to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing but leaves, because it was not the season for figs. Right, what you were saying. Then he said to the tree, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again." And his disciples heard him say it. So it sounds like he kind of whispered it to the tree. He didn't preach it out loud or voice it out loud,
Well,
right?
no, because that would be boastful.
Hmm. On reaching Jerusalem, Jesus entered the temple courts and began driving out those who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves, and would not allow anyone to carry merchandise through the temple courts. And as he taught them, he said, "Is it not written, 'My house will be called a house of prayer for all nations'? But you have made it a den of robbers." The chief priests and teachers of the law heard this and began looking for a way to kill him, for they feared him, because the whole crowd was amazed at his teaching.
Mm,
Mm. Even
well,
preaching, he was.
hmm.
Mm.
I'm trying to correlate that because I want to find can you find the one in Matthew as well? I know that
Yeah,
they have different testimonies, but I want to see. I don't know if it's Matthew 28. I mean, we
I'll
guess we
get
could
it.
go here.
When evening came, Jesus and his disciples went out of the city. In the morning, as they went along, they saw the fig tree withered from the roots. Peter remembered and said to Jesus, "Rabbi, look, the fig tree you cursed has withered." "Have faith in God," Jesus answered. "Truly I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. And when you stand praying, if you hold anything against anyone, forgive them, so that your Father in heaven may forgive your sins." Let me pull up the Matthew one right now.
Yeah, I was trying to find something they had with all that. But the whole thing is too, I need that chapter right now because I'm trying to break it down in my head. So we might just have to give this one a second. Let's
It's right
see.
here. Okay, so this is Matthew chapter 21, verse 18 through 22. Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Immediately the tree withered. When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. "How did
There
the
we go.
fig tree wither so quickly?" they asked. Jesus
So,
replied, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to the fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer."
mm, if you believe, whatever you have will be unto you. So I want to break that down a little bit more. And you know what? Can you send that to me actually, if you don't mind, heck? Because I want to be able to go through that without having you have to repeat it. I mean, you can't repeat it, but I just want to say, think about that. Now, I know Mark's testament was this little, he didn't add the part in. Obviously different accounts of what they saw. It immediately withered. Because you're not gonna just pass by it again and just write that down. Hey, by the way, the tree. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, think about that. The power of the word has the immediacy of the non-doubtfulness, the power of the word. Words can start rumors and wars and everything else. It withered that. And the Rice experiment shows it too. You speak and you sing to your plants, they grow and they harmonize, but If you hold in the negativity around them, they all completely start dying slowly. They start getting to that moment of how powerful the spoken word. Now, God's powerfulness of just the words alone to create the creation of this world has so much power. So we're miniature snippets of the God force, and our words have just as much power. Whether we use them for good or quote bad, they have that powerfulness. Why is it when they did the university study that when they told the group of college students, you can't do it, it took them around 21 times to finally believe when they said you can do it, right? It was weird how the negative effects have so much more impact than yes, you can. They couldn't even believe that. The doubt and the seed and the form has been put into that. So people say, well, how do we do it, Lex? Hey, heck, how we do it? How are we going to go this doubt? I mean, every time I think, well, what if it doesn't happen? If it doesn't happen, then how can I? Well, is it for that? When you have this wonderful moment and you think about the job, what if I don't get the job? What if I don't get the job? What if I don't have it? Like, why are you already cursing it before it can even bloom? You curse it before it even has a chance to be anything. It's amazing, right? It's just like we literally put spells out all day long. We're a bunch of walking, speaking spells that we put upon our lives and ourselves. And that 10% is something that we owe to understand who we are so we can understand what we came from and who is the creator of all things and what we are and the extensions of the creator and accepting the sacrificial lamb that was put here for us. Adam couldn't do it. So the spiritual form came so that we might be renewed. So, yea, through our walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And the presence of mine enemies, and thy anointest my head with oil, my cup overflowed. Surely good and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, for I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Now, I had to speak that and memorize it as a child growing all the way up. But as I get older, I start looking at that. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of the flesh of death. Like when people go into the dimensions, we realize it's like, oh, I dreamt of this. I had a vision of this. We're detaching yourself from the avatar life. Your human form was here and your spiritual form. I mean, Angela and I speak about it. Heck, and I speak about it. Multitudes of people have spoken about it before throughout my journey. It's to the point of where I even feel like I'm still in there. I can step right back in after I use the bathroom, rinse my mouth, and drink some water. It's literally right there, the gateway. And sometimes it shifts and mingles because we're so attached to the flesh. The flesh can't even believe what we're dealing with in the spirit. We're so detached from this matronized societal point that where we're like, oh my goodness, I know it's beyond lucid dreaming. I know what it is. I've woken up with bruises, scratches, different things that happen in that world, and I know what it is. I wake up with my whole mood shifting because of it. Even if something happened, I'm like, man, where'd this person go? I know that I can reach them in another dimension, but how do I get there? It's amazing. And actually, I look forward to going to sleep, even though I don't get very much of it. But I just want to say, I don't know what Heck's going to add to the flavor of this, but I will say, think about this with the fig tree. Now, Heck, I don't know. Do you still have that scripture you sent, or are you?
Yeah, I sent it
Oh,
to you.
okay, because I have it on silent, so I didn't get a chance to see anything. Let's see.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to add, to be honest. I'm just listening in like I'm listening to it myself. You
Can
maybe
you
read it.
can you just read it like slow, like chop by chop, and just pause real quick, Ben, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it but found nothing on it except leaves.
Okay, pause. Okay, early in the morning. Okay, what does it say? Jesus was what?
On his way back to the city,
Okay, and why was he feeling?
he was hungry.
He was hungry. Now break this down marginally. On his way back to the city, right? He was hungry. That's a key word. He was hungry. Okay, can you go? I'm sorry.
Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it but found nothing on it except leaves.
Okay, pause one more time. He was hungry and seeing. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm hungry for this thing that I want so bad. I'm hungry for the desire that God put in me that I know I'm a part of, and anything that is put into my system, even if it's a cheeseburger with extra onions, or it could be a water slide, whatever you want to say. I see that. I'm hungry for it. But when I get there, right, when I get there thinking that regardless if it's 4 or 5 months, 4 or 5 days later, or if I go to this destination inside of myself or get to this point, it's not there. Okay, so we're going to, Jesus was hungry. He came to the fig tree. What do you say? It was on the side of the road?
Yes.
Okay, can you just do that?
Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found nothing on it except leaves.
Okay. He found nothing on it except leaves. Okay.
Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Immediately the tree withered.
Okay. You know, we're gonna pause that for a second. Immediately the tree withered. So I'm trying to break this down to where everyone can kind of get it on their notion. I see it as I'm trying to look at it from my point right now, from my one dimensional point to the next 20 ones that'll come after this. It's something even so of a desired a relationship, right? Doesn't matter if it's with your best friend or whatever it might be. If you want something and you go there expecting it, it's even better for the fact that you expected it in a very humble, clean way, and it's not what you thought it was going to be, or it's not there, then you need to kill it with what it is right there where it's at. Now, I'm not saying go get a knife or anything crazy. I'm saying kill it with your mind and block out all the dots that lead to the doubts. That was kind of a reverberation, but block up all the dots that lead to the doubts. So, okay, well, it's not there. Oh, I didn't get the job. Well, you said if I just put the doubts away. Well, did you really? And if so, how do you know it's not the next level up of what you should rebuke to the side? How do you know it's not saying, hey, look, you're supposed to? I know who I serve. I know who I belong to. I know who I am. I'm supposed to have what I have right here. You're supposed to call me next week and tell me to come in here and bless your business so I can bless others and be blessed beyond and find out my way and help your way. I'm supposed to be able to be going to this certain trip or the certain thing or being able to be healed. But the doctor keeps telling me my diagnosis is getting stronger. What if the doubt? Here goes the doubt. What if it gets stronger to the point where what you wouldn't be here then, right? If you get to the point where you don't even know you'll even hear the chapter, you're already letting it fester. And we have to cut those things off. We have to be able to slay it down, lay it down. And as hard as it may be, let's look at the Harry Potter factor. I'm just going to say this now: wizardry and all that stuff, boom, rebuke it, bye. Sorcery, boom, rebuke it, bye. But we're going to use it in this way. Hex giving me the hand sign. One second. Let me just get to this. Let me get the one second. Let me just get off my tongue real quick. I like that. We're gonna use that. It's so cute. I love it. I love it. Okay, just don't forget that because my mind slips a lot more. His mind's a little on point with that one. But we're just use the Harry Potter factor, and I almost lost it right now. Heck, stop it. Stop it. I lost it right now. We'll get it. Anyway, what were we gonna
Right.
say?
Well, let me, back it up a little bit too to kind of reinforce what you were saying. Uh, we got to look at it in the same way whenever it says he was hungry, right? And we've heard a lot of different people, especially Les Brown. If you're familiar with Les Brown or not, that's one of the things he says. You got to be hungry. You got to go and have that certain type of drive and desire for whatever it is that you may want. And there's things that'll come in our path that look like opportunities, but you got to have the discernment enough to see if it's bearing the right fruit for you to continue your path. Because there's many times whenever we're going and we understand the purpose and the mission that we're on, and then an opportunity shows up, right? It could be, maybe at the moment where that opportunity shows up, the ministry that you're doing or starting isn't generating enough to keep you above water, or something similar, or you're in a rut in your business or mission that you're doing for God, to where you feel like this may be the way out of the rut, but ultimately we have to look at the fruits, because in the same way that God says you shall know them by their fruits to the false prophets, to the false preachers, we got to understand it's the same thing for opportunities, for decisions, for situations that come into our lives, and ultimately same thing with the relationships. And to go a little forward to what you were saying too, of rebuking what that doubt may ensue, is like, oh, well, he could have thought, well, maybe I'm not meant to eat today, right? And not had that discernment to understand, well, I'm hungry, I desire it. These are desires from God. I understand the path that I'm on. Why should I doubt myself? And ultimately, that's why I love when certain people go and they get second opinions. They're not going to take no for an answer. They're not going to say, oh, it's terminal. Even if those people go and end up turning to a different religion, right? Turning to a different person, seeking somebody who they understand has that faith to bring it to God, to say, you are healed. Ultimately, it's a second opinion to know this is not the end. This is not the stop sign right here.
Amen. That is very true. Second opinion. You're right about that. Yeah, absolutely. You can go to a second doctor. You can definitely go to the only doctor you'll ever need. And some people say, well,
The
why?
great
Why did
doctor.
my loved one pass away if I went to God? Just because you ask somebody for $1 million doesn't mean you're going to get it. Just because you go in a restaurant and ask for free food doesn't mean you're going to get it. If that's the case, then you're just being a spoiled expectator. Like you expect things to just be given because you are who you are. You still have to make sure you sow your seeds where you are. We'll get into Joseph in a little bit to the next chapters here. We're trying to make sure we get it in. So we don't know where this might be chopped off at or not, but stay tuned if you want to hear the other part of it. So that's the point of keeping you coming in, okay? So you can get those little segments that we're going to be dropping jewels on. But I think I'm going to jump if I can. I don't know. I know it wasn't Hex thing. I saw the little hand waving, and it was just the cutest thing, and I couldn't just. I'm sorry. I could not help it. Just some of the stuff. His mind, it just reminds me of a variated version of myself sometimes where I'm like, oh, look at this little hand right here. But yeah, I was trying to figure out where things could go in retrospect of the Harry Potter effect. And I love the fact of bringing, like I said, wizardry and sorcery, no. But I will say that I looked at it from a moment standpoint and I was thinking to myself, we get so hocus pocus, halapatocus, whatever they say, or going on their rocks. You know, all those people made a fortune.
And love your song.
I don't know.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But it's J.K. Rowling's, first billionaire book writer. Hey, kudos to her living on welfare, a couple $100 a month, some food stamps, and people turning her down, supposedly about 300 publishers or whatever. Probably, I'm sure, who knows, on her last end with her child, and her imagination kept it real. I mean, maybe in her mind, that's the closest she got to understanding her God force as to seeing magical wands and whatever. Whoever lost themselves in the whimsicalness of things, maybe they don't see the badness to it. Who knows? But at the same time, we're not going to look at that part, but it is a part that we're not trying to look at. But think about that. Now, I don't know exactly where I was going. It might come on later on fully, but it gets to the point of where they can focus on what they do. They went to a school of it. They could focus on all those things that could be done. And I don't want to go down the avenue of it because I don't know exactly where I was mentally with it. So I don't want to hit it right now. So everybody don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at this situation or a little upset, but it'll come to
She
my mind
teased
here.
us. She
Well,
teased us.
well, your little hand interrupted my thought process, Mr. Man. So yeah, it's not his fault, but when I saw that little cute hand pop up, my brain just went whoosh. That's why I have to keep myself focused when I'm speaking because I get like that. This is in general. Like I throw it off. My mom could say something and I'm like, huh? And she'll be like, oh, don't get mad. I'm like, no, I'm not getting mad. It's just my brain doesn't like it's so deep in the game of what God's trying to put in me. Any interruption ruins my flow. So it could be alarm, it could be someone at the doorbell, like, and it's just when you're tapped into and God can put his electricity in you even more, you can't have any distractions. That's just the way it is, even from the word. I mean, once you guys learn these things and you'll get there, you can't really know what I am spiritually because we're all made differently in our own honing in, but that's what it is. But I don't want to give you the wrong understanding of where I was going with it because I felt the energy flow through what I was saying, and it's kind of like it's kind of weird to kind of connect it there now. So, but Heck was meant to come in and add that section and what he did, and maybe we'll get into this on another one. We'll see what happens. But although I was going on that chapter, it comes to an understanding of where the fruitfulness is in the scripture. So I'm losing my space right now. Heck, can you please reread that chapter one time so I can get back into it? Maybe at the
Absolutely.
okay.
Early in the morning, this is back to Matthew 21, chapter 21, verse 18 through 22.
Mm.
Early in the morning, as Jesus
Wait, wait,
was
wait, wait, wait,
on
wait, wait,
his
wait, wait, wait.
way.
Time out. Pause, pause. Can you say that? Your voice went all the way down, like 22. Like we want people to feel the juice. Can you repeat the chapter, please, Mr. Man? Think it's
This,
dinner time here. Dinner
this
time.
is or Matthew chapter 21, verse 18 through 22.
Ooh, felt it that time. Boom. Thank you.
Early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry.
What?
Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Immediately the tree withered. When the
Pause.
disciples saw this,
No. Let's pause that right quick, please. I want to keep whatever I got left in my brain. Just one second. So let's put that again. Okay, I had to do a little pause. I apologize to everybody because things and circumstances and situations throw me off a lot. See, I know it's beyond the heyoka, the clairvoyance, clairaudience. It's beyond all that. It's literally the oracleness of understanding what the true goddess factor is of God. It's a channel of energy, or let's say a pool, a stream, and it's like when it's disrupted and when you're already dealing with the human flesh of tiredness and different things, it's kind of unfair to you all, and I don't want it to be like that for TSMA. So I want to say apologies to that. And you might be saying what happened, or you don't notice what happened, but I feel what happened. So right now I'm transitioning everybody. You can probably hear more about this on my next episode or the next few episodes of the Real Dominoes channel. And I try to laugh and smiling off now, but it's a lot of things. I just want peace. I want a cup of tea. I want to relax and put my feet up, or some decaf coffee, and just to be in silence. I love being not bothered. I love silence. It's a very beautiful thing when you can spend time with God with no distractions, no interruptions, nothing. I'd rather be with God all day long. I could care less if any human being was by me at all, even my future children to come. I can say that. I mean, I really can. Because God gave me everything, like the book of Job. So what am I gonna miss? If God gave me everything,
facts.
what could I miss? Nothing. I wouldn't have it without God. So I just want to put that out there. We're gonna get to it, and like Heck was saying, and we say in different conversations, maybe it was just meant for another part, but we got so many parts coming. It's good. We wanted to put the flavor factor down for everybody. And it's not about the length of what you listen to, is the quality and the depth of what you get into. So right here, I know I'm going somewhere, but you can flow so much and pause. You can flow so much and go and break it down in your depth of your mind instead of just, oh, this is what it means. But I want you to look at this for yourself. If you get a chance to go to the book, the Holy Bible, whether it be King James Version, New International Version, which is more modernized words, or I think they have like International Standard, whatever it is, so many versions. But Matthew chapter 21, 18, verse 20 through 2020. 22, 2020. Matthew 21, verses 18 through 22. Check that out. Right now, Heck sent me the link to BibleGateway.com. We're not sponsors of them, which, in some way, I know he has, given some love to him. But at the same time, it's a free, understanding of that. And I'm happy that they put it out there. So now that I got this on my delayed Verizon signal, Jesus Christ. Okay, early in the morning, as Jesus was on his way back to the city, he was hungry, right? We pinpointed that. Seeing a fig tree by the road, he went up to it, but found nothing on it except leaves. Then he said to it, "May you never bear fruit again." Boom. Immediately, the tree withered. So, being for the fact that he went up the road, Jesus went up the road. Okay, he went up to it. and he found nothing on it except leaves. So look about what you have in your future tank. I'll say, not bowl. Look at that. Look at what you have. So you have that, and you're thinking the expectations of that is my diagnosis. This is going on. This is going on. It didn't happen for me. But what did Jesus do? He said, may you never bear fruit again. Right? And you might be saying, well, that's not fruit. I didn't want, yeah, it is. It's still bad fruit. If you didn't bear it, you still have the negativity of the fact that he went over there expecting something and it wasn't there. At the same time, for you, don't curse yourself. Don't go around saying, oh my gosh, it didn't happen for me. Oh my goodness. It must be this, it must be that. I'll succumb to my wounds. No. The TV show, I shouldn't be alive, right? Or I survived. Think about that. The reason why you have something to watch is because they persevered through. Now, a lot of them don't give homage to God who carried them through. And a lot of them, some of them do. But at the same time, why did Jesus have to say, may you never bear fruit again? Immediately the tree withered. He killed out the root of why that fig tree didn't have what he expected to be there. He expected it. And it says, even though the tree was not in its season, it's still, meaning it doesn't matter if it's a season to change or not. It doesn't matter if it's winter and you're expecting something that would happen in summer. Whatever you expect to be there without the seed of doubt will be planted and grow even through the roughest terrain and the roughest weather conditions that you see coming in life, right? When the disciples saw this, they were amazed. How did the fig tree wither so quickly? They asked. Jesus replied, truly, I tell you, if you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to the fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea, and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. Now, people want to question about the pyramids. Oh, how did this, the ancient technology of the aliens, boom, boom, boom. It might just be. But what do they always say the aliens do? They let humans know the understanding, the fallen angels, whatever they want to say. I do believe, too, the other concept that we're missing is maybe they moved it with their minds. Uh-huh. Never know. What? How is it to say they didn't? They have that structural design. They have machines now, right? They've done displays where they supposedly take a thought or your thoughts that you're having, right? You already pre-wrote it down. You're doing whatever else or whatever thought you have. You wrote it down, said something. I don't know. You don't show nobody. And the machine takes your thoughts out of your mind or the ether, the air around you, whatever it gets it from, the energy, and it takes your thoughts. Like actually, I think it's hooked up to your body. It takes what you're thinking of and it draws a picture of it. Shows you already. And Heck was saying this the other day, we're mass consciousness. We are. And that's why we feel what's going on. We're looking at parts of ourselves. When we see a murder on TV, we're looking at it like, man, I can't believe this person, boom, boom, boom. But we're really just speaking to ourselves. When we see a kidnapping, where's the baby? Where's this kid? We're feeling it because it's a part of ourselves. I feel it. And when I see a squirrel jumping around in the street because half of its body is smashed, oh my goodness. It makes me stop and I cringe and I feel the rib cage is broken. I feel the back, just the spine broken and the bleeding. And I literally have to pull over almost and pray and ask God to take the pain and relief from the animal and myself. It's hard to be someone like me. I wouldn't wish it upon someone else because it's not your journey. But I will say that I can feel the elements, even for the fact that if I even have to use bug spray from a situation that they put me in, okay, try to avoid it. But it bothers me because I'm like, oh, that was a part of me going out of this life. Every single module. And I don't want you to live like that to where you're like, oh my goodness, 100,000 birds just fell in the sky and died. Some of those reports they have, I'm down for the whole day. No. It's just the point of understanding how reverberated we are with touching life. George Floyd, okay, bringing up that conversation of George Floyd, rest in peace. It bothered everybody because really for the first time they were sitting down still to watch since COVID, stuck in the house, being able to see and feeling it because they felt so numb being disconnected with face masks and you couldn't come in close contact with each other. That's what made it feel. It made it real for the fact that you could feel for the first time because you were taken away from it. You could never take a touch for granted again. What are people's wishes? Oh my gosh, when I get out of this COVID, if it ever ends, I want to give my family a big hug and a kiss. I want to go over here and be around people I love. It's always these things that are taken away. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm going to say, whatever you feel for it, truly, I tell you the truth. If you have faith and do not doubt, not only can you do what was done to this fig tree, but also you can say to this mountain, go throw yourself into the sea and it will be done. If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer. If you believe, you will receive in prayer. So I want to leave that the contingency to that is also the fig tree was made an example by for Jesus to teach a valuable lesson. Just because you have the non-doubtfulness of something to be there and your expectation of knowing that God gives to those of his creation because he is nothing but the purest of love, right? The balance of all things doesn't mean that the expectation was away from you. It just meant you had to kill out what it didn't give you, whether it be the doubt that needed to be killed. Because really, what I will say is anytime something doesn't come into fruition, anytime something is not birthed and done, it's because the doubt was still attached to it. Really, even if it's 2%. Because when I was in California going through all that drama and all the things, growing up in church pews, growing up with abuse, all this other stuff, literally a chaotic world of understanding what anything that had to do with God or Christ, I felt that down to my core. I really, really did. And when I sat there in the hotel, pulling my hair out, going crazy, eating Hot Pockets, trying to keep myself together, buying random stuff, renting a car out every day, just money going out the wazoo, staying in a hotel that was at least $150 a night. For those who don't understand, $150 a night plus car rentals, about $300 a day for 6 weeks. $300 a day for 6 weeks. That's including if I didn't go splurge on something or gas. Okay, for the car. Tell me that. From a 6-week vacation that turned into a year of something that I can never repay back. I will just say it was beautiful. And I got a chance to even leave. I didn't even understand how it led up to that, but I remember I sat there on the side of that bed and I said, oh man, I don't want to go back to Minnesota right now. Maybe from the shame, maybe from the guilt, maybe from the hurt of how I thought it could work out. I said, is it really time to go? I just got here. I felt like I just didn't even begin living. This can't be it. I came all the way down here just to go back to nothing? To go back with no stories or no nothing? Don't even have anything to really say about it except the journey here, the abuse I took, and now I'm in a hotel with my bags. I had to run for my life. Okay. So I take that journey and I look at it as that. When I laid there and I said, man, it was going to be nice. And I'm going to repeat this story until you all get it on all syndicates. I want you to take this as the last thing I have to tell you. And it's so deep in my chest right now, I can't even beyond to feel it beyond the Sabbath coming. And I will tell you this. It's to the point of I laid there and scripted out this woman's home who I never met, never knew existed, or anything under the sun, but it connected us because we're connected and we have the power of all things without doubt forming. Now, I was just daydreaming. I was illusionified. I was saying, man, I would love for this house to say something where I knew they served God. They love God. They had a clean home. They had this. God gave me beyond my expectations. That's the first time. And I go back to that blueprint when I want to get there. And I'm like, my gosh, I had nothing but freedom and enjoyment. I walked through this woman's home in my mind. I saw the flooring. I saw everything. I saw the contract being signed. This is how I wanted to say. This is what I want the deposit to be. And literally down to the core, testifyingly, I still got it in my other bags, the contract. All that stuff, the rent, the beautiful room, the beautiful layout, the aloe vera garden, the nectarines, the beautiful avocados, the beautiful, what do you call those? Artichokes, different things, our asparagus, different things I've never got a chance to try. Get a stigma of, it was there. It was there. And she called me 2.5, 3 weeks later and said, I don't know. And that left from a voicemail off of Craigslist. I don't even remember leaving it for her. Very vaguely. But she said, I don't know. But when I heard your voice, and I thought she was kind of like just trying to be nice when she told me, I got all of these people leaving messages for me all the time about places to stay and so forth or whatever else, and I usually have it for people at the university and so forth. And since I was still doing my work and still doing my education, I was still considered so in a different way. But she told me, I got this message from you, and I don't know, but something told me it was supposed to be you. Can you come meet me on Saturday? Once again, the adversary had me. Oh, it's Sabbath. You can't go anywhere, can't do anything. How some people grow structurally different. Sabbath doesn't mean you go on lockdown, but some people can call different religions cults because that's how they figure, or how we have more of a stricter thing where we couldn't, do certain things that were a part of the quote world, like watch certain TV shows or do it's kind of like just stay focused on Bible and different stuff like that, which makes sense, but we're also like can't go anywhere, can't cook anything kind of thing either. So it expanded differently as we got there. But my mom still had to learn different things as well as we all do. She thought it was meant for the best, and it did in a great way because it prepared me for the journey I have now and why I'm speaking to you today. To end that off for now, because I'll probably come up again later on and probably in my book series and different things too. But it made me look at things and say, man, if I would have went on that train and never even took the chance to imagine what could be. When I walked to her house that Saturday, the devil came in saying, hey, remember Miss Sabbath Day, you can't go on Sábado. She wants you to see Saturday with the money order deposit. Ooh, can't do that. I was like, you know what, Lord, this can't be a mistake. After I came and looked at the place, it was like a dream, and it was raining a little bit that morning. So it was so beautiful, so relaxing, so peaceful. And I forgot what part of China she came in, but her dad was also like one of the Congress or government in China. So she was high profile. I'm not sure if he was a diplomat at the time. I don't know. Obviously he passed, but she was also like a very hierarchy in the hospital administration and financial department CFO, so it was a part that people didn't get to live in. So when I spoke about where I was to other people, like, oh, I was in this area, they're like, man, you're living in the hills. I was like, oh, wow. But the thing is, she told me to come back after she met me. Took my shoes off. I walked around. I smiled. I talked to her about where I was in Minnesota and different things. And I knew she could sense that I was abused or I was trying to find my way. And I'm so thankful for Susan because she really touched me. So that's something I have to go to California for. I'm sorry, everybody. It brought tears to my eye because she saw what I was going through. And for me, I thought she was going to see my complexion detection, my attitude, or maybe my big chest, whatever it might be, my thoughts of insecurities. And I had been beaten down so far at that time. And my whole life has been that way. Don't get me wrong. It made me to my strong. And then I asked the Lord to take my life so many times as I tried to do that throughout my journey in different ways. And God said, no, I'm not going to take you from the flesh, but I'll take you from the spirit. You're not going to die physically, but I'm going to take you and have another death. And 3 days on the bed, I had to die. And I realized it was at her home and the peace that I had. It had to be that because really, until those things happened, I had to believe that call she made was for me. I had to believe it was. And when she said, come back with a deposit, I'm thinking, man, I can't spare enough money. I'm already spending it. Okay, what if she takes off with my money? And I'm like, really? Seriously? I'm like, well, if that's happens, I'll just go back. I accepted it. She called me. I was kind of nervous, and then the weekend came, and she finally called me. Hey, you want to come in, move in? And I was so excited when I got the keypad or whatever, and I came in. I felt so relieved. That lady came to me with fresh strawberries, fresh nectarines, white nectarines, fresh berries, fresh fruit, like coming. And the dreams I had of people coming with baskets of fruit and love, it comes down to that understanding of I killed the seed of doubt, just like we just read in Matthew 21. I made the doubt wither and die by never letting it grow in the first place. I was at my lowest. And sometimes, and a lot of times when we're at our lowest, if not most times, that's when we find God. Our strength that we find to survive is God. The understanding that we cannot do something alone when we're never alone because we're a part of all that is. And the love that I saw in her eyes of compassion, even though she was a strict little ball of fire, she still had that understanding of a mother's love and a person's love to realize, even though she looks good with her sweater and her clothes and the car she pulled up in, her hair done and all this, she could see deeper. Why is this lady from Minnesota, this young woman's down here? Why is she here? And she let me take my time unfolding. She never pressured me. She never forced me to talk, even when I saw her in between. She just kind of let it be. And I learned about her and she learned about me. And it was really hard for us to separate. 115 degrees on the way back near a hot train station. Yeah, it was like 120 something degrees on the shot clock. Um, but yeah, I just want to say that was very emotional and powerful. And I know whoever's supposed to hear it, I don't know where Heck disappeared to. I'm sorry, Heck, but
Oh,
whoever's
I'm
supposed
here.
to hear, whoever's supposed to hear what they had to hear, I hope that you understand that message. Don't let the fig tree alter your destination. Just because it's not there bearing the fruit that you expected or you want to be there doesn't mean you die with it. You kill it. You kill it and rebirth it again until there's nothing left but a whole tree of figs that you could eat from. If God didn't make that clear enough, I'm telling you now as a witness, we can. And that's why I smack myself 100 times because I'm thinking, man, you know the recipe. Just use it, Lex. Do it. What's wrong with you? Like, but then at the same time, a lot of stuff has held me back. A lot of things have happened over these last several plus years, and it's a lot of death and chaos. A lot of things. It still doesn't lead me from the truth, and neither should it do you. So the Truth Seekers Mastermind Alliance is hoping that you'll come in alliance with us, with yourself, with all that is, and becoming all that will be. So we're going to go to the 10% of it, of being able to connect with that God source every day, even if you have to start by just reading and digging, or closing your mind and closing your, or say, please, closing your ears off and just breathing in, saying, God, I hope that you hear me because I know that you hear me, because I know that you love me, because I only know love because of you. I want to get to know you, Lord. And as every day and every step, please bring me closer to a better place. And know that you're going to have things come up against you even harder when you take that road. But only the strong survive, right? So as it goes, as my native brother that has always helped me through things in the past, I hope he's still alive right now. Hopefully I'll see soon. I did get confirmation in the dream vision that I had from God. It was really heavy on my heart, that he's trying to reach out to me, but there's something holding him back. And he looked very in desperation. So Heck is also helping me with that too, as time unfolds here, going on forward to the West Coast. Um, Although, it needs to be something reverberated from yourself to get those things moving forward. Get them going, get them gone, keep all those things too. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. So I I had to put that on there just so everybody understood where we're going with that. But yeah, it's with his conversation of things going on, it was a little different. But he told me to keep your head going, keep your head strong, keep all those things moving, whatever you feel is against you. Keep it going, keep everything moving. And I'll leave it at that for now. So Heck, do you want to add any Heck versus Hell where the truth you tell? I'm sorry if I took over this. I'm not sorry because it needed to come out and I felt to come out. But I'm sorry if it took from your conversation.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna interfere, right? I'm not gonna become the fig tree that gets in the way. Uh,
Oh, goodness gracious.
but yeah, that's a very deep message. The fig tree is that's what we got to title this episode for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I said the 10%. Okay. That's what I was, oh, the 10%. Okay. And the blackness of God. Okay. Well, okay. Yeah. Here you go.
The fig tree.
The fig tree. I like that.
No, but yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that not interjected into what's the word I'm looking for? Probed, I guess. I don't know if
Probe,
that's a better
why?
word. Probe the person that it was meant to hear. That was meant to hear that.
Yeah.
Because that might have been the first impression right there. Might have been the first impression, first time on the show, first time listening to this, and now they're like, all
First
right, let's
impression
hear
is the
some more.
lasting impression.
Hey,
Absolutely.
the first fruits.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, I could go on here. We could talk for a whole 3, 4 hours, heck.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could.
We'll
But,
do roll two here soon. But it's good to be able to talk. Like, you have to be able to relax and talk with everybody.
oh
What
yeah.
conversation we're having, everyone, you could be cooking right now, you could be picking up your kids right now. I heard some lady had actually had told Angela, well, we call her Tangela now, Tangible Ange, but they had told her like she was making some stir fry or something when she was hearing us, and we had said something. Heck and I had said something that was funny, and she said she almost spilled the soy sauce or something. I thought it was phenomenally funny because I'm like, wow, we're people. I mean, it seems so kind of surreal, you know. It is surreal. Like someone's making stir fry, hearing us and their Kokomon. I forgot what it's called. That bomb soy sauce. It's called Kokomon or Kirkamom or something. I'm
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong. Or some sriracha sauce or whatever, and you're literally pouring that on as your family gets ready for dinner. That's nice,
Well,
you know.
I'll say, Tangi, if you're listening to this while you're cooking, turn down the heat.
Oh, yeah, he likes to make fun of us in our cooking rice ventures. We know how to make some good rice fried rice patties. So not burnt rice patties, Angela knows how to make, but
That's what I'm saying. You gotta turn down
yeah.
that heat.
This shade, Angie, I like you. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that. We didn't mean
Oh, I
that.
meant it.
He meant
But
it. They're on a little vendetta right now, a little show vendetta. But it's a loving vendetta. But yeah, I mean that's a conversation where I'm like, man, I
yeah,
hope
we're gonna have to kind of cut this one down the middle and continue it on. Just to give you guys a little, it in between the sessions.
in between.
So
What do you mean in between the sessions?
in between the sessions, so because we can
Oh,
continue with this on for another like 2 hours at least, so we could kind of chop it up a little bit. Um, but yeah, we might just have to go into the first fruits actually, to kind of stay on the same type of topic while also continuing it forward.
I would love to go on the conversation of the blackness of God. I mean, we're just labeling that for now for everybody so we can get that. But yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother level right there. We might just have a segment. I
Hmm.
will see what we're gonna do with this. Right now, we're gonna take a pause moment for our sunset to come in, and as well as being able to see what we're gonna possibly have for our dinner, to be honest. Our dinner and get some other stuff aligned. So we're gonna just take a break from this, which you're gonna probably see in another episode. That break means is going to another episode. Although you're welcome to check out our syndicates of Heck versus Hell that airs every Friday, but it's still up there for you now, as well as other episodes we've done with myself. That is Real Double Dose channel and our past experts and those to come. Yes, we are rolling out. We have a wonderful lady that is on there, and she could be because I heard that she's listening to it. I mean, directly from her, she listens to our channels. But yeah, Philippa, hashtag we love you. Thank you for your help and your amazing inspiration and your beautiful spirit and the gorgeous land of the beautiful motherland. So where we all come from. Thank you. But I'm just saying, I
Boom.
just want to say, yeah, it's good to be able to have that. So we're gonna get with you on the next one. And I'm gonna say, like I always say, keep doing what you have to, being the change and feeling the passion and embracing the power of the spirit that's within you, drawing to you, and always near inside of you, right? And also seek the truth, right? Truth is what you need to do. Seeking is what you need to find, right? The master of all things is the key to everything in the universe, and alliance is what you have to come into alignment with to be able to get there. So we're going to be rolling out Lex Effect coaching, some different jewel drops for that, as well as Dream Builder coming up on those. And I want to also put those on all of our platforms because it's going to be something to level you up. And it's going to be some free jewel drops in between if you don't want to quote sign up. So you can get your journey on to where you can start revealing the truth or doing more in your truth learning and express all that you are via the power of what you're connected to on here. So I'm going to let Hex sign us out. We love you and you're amazing. Yes, we are.
We love you. You're amazing. And as always, we'll catch you
On the flip
on the
side.
flip side.
Oh, I beat you to it. Boom.